Here's a quick rundown on what your lab and test grade is going to look like. It is a double grade. So your parents are going to see. So this is a double grader. You're going to be using this website going into the intro. Okay, follow the instructions as given in each question and keep, this part is important, the Canon at 25 degrees unless I tell you to change it. If you change it, you're gonna mess yourself up. I've already tried each of these experiments. I know the answers to every single one. Follow the directions exactly as given. If you have questions, reach out to me on either Dojo or Hangout. Message me, whatever, but do not change this stuff. So tomorrow, so on November 4th, so for Wednesday, the object, you're going to pick the object. When you go to the website, on the top right, they give you categories of objects to actually change. You can use that. You're going to pick that. And that has only the initial speed of 0. That means on the bottom left, you have initial speed. You can adjust it to be 0. The starting position to be 10 meters. You're going to see it at the left corner, at the left of the actual cannon. It's going to give you a blue arrow, double arrow that goes up and down. You're going to use that to adjust the starting position. Make sure it stays at 10 and the cannon at 25 degrees. So you can adjust the degrees of the cannon. I'm sure you noticed that if you went into the website and actually played around with it. Using these 3 things, when you click that red button and your item either drops or flies or whatever, you're going to record what happened. When you do that, that's a 3-pointer, a point for each. So if you get 2 points here, you should know that you didn't answer something. The same thing for number 2. Read each part and do each part one step at a time. Don't try to read the whole thing and go, I don't know what to do. Because if you're doing it all as a big picture, it's going to be harder to understand when you've never truly taken the time to do it. So what you need to do is read a sentence, do the sentence. Read another sentence, do that sentence. Read the final sentence, do it. So it says the object has a starting position of 0. Set that first before you do anything else. One step at a time. Complete one thing at a time. When you're done, you record that. Now, when you get to number 3 and 4, you're applying dips. It is a 5-pointer. Okay? Again, read each part carefully. Some parts you do not need to use the stimulation for. You can just answer blatantly. You don't have to go through the stimulation. Some parts you do need the stimulation because without it, it's part of your lab. Without it, you won't be able to answer the question. So number 3 and 4, they're similar to each other. You're using dips. I set you up to make it easier for you. My job is to make it easier for you even though it's hard. So make sure you're using what resource I gave you. When you're done with those 2 parts, was the solution given similar to the distance and the target given? Make sure you answer this 2-point question. It's a 2-parter, not a 1-parter. Now, for November 5th, like I said, this is a 2-day project. You can get it all done in 1 day if you'd like to. That's your decision. But you have till Thursday. If you do it on Friday, know that it will be late. It will be late. I will take away 5 to 10 points depending on just how late. If you gave it to me at the end of the day on Friday, you know you're not getting any. You're taking 10 points away. If you give it to me early in the morning, it's only 5 points. But don't make it a 3-day thing. Get your entire credit. For November 5th, it's a part A and a part B. Part A, read each part. I even did pictures for you to show you exactly how to use a time tracker. You're going to be following each part. This is 1. So that means, okay, I got to set it at 9 meters. Then I got to set the initial speed at 3. Then I got to set the cannon at this. I got to shoot it. Record the time. Here's how you record the time. I gave pictures there for a reason. Or you can also just put your own timer on and record the time that way. When you have the time, you're going to do 2 things. You're going to move the actual target to see what the distance is. And then you're going to use the equation and see if they match up. Does the target that you moved the distance of actually match up to the equation itself? Do that for all 4. Then you're going to write out a 6-point of what you observed based on it. So what I need you to do here in this point, so for this part where it says, what did you observe? I want you to go back to this and you're going to look at every single detail that you did, the recording of time, you're going to look at the target distance, you're going to look at the equation, because those are the 3 things you were required to do. Because they're the 3 things you're required to do, I expect you to also be writing about them in your observation. So tell me what you observed about the time. Tell me what you observed about the target that you had to move. Tell me what you observed about the equation. When you mention each part, that's a grade. So 2 points, 2 points, 2 points. So moving along for part B. Part B is a little more simpler. All you're doing for part B is understand that mass plays a huge part on speed, right? So you're going to have each item that's given to you on the top right corner. Each of them, you're going to be actually throwing each of them in the cannon. Set your cannon degree to be similar and your starting velocity to be similar. Your acceleration, I'm giving it to you. Because you sure know what that is. And what I want you to do is you're going to be finding the final velocity of each one. Okay, which means how fast were they really moving to get from point A to point B. Distance isn't needed in this equation, so your time is record the time of each one, which you already know how to do if you look at this one up here. So you are going to record each one. You have all the parts you need of this equation except for final velocity, which you're solving for. Like I said, this gets really easy when you start it and you listen to the recording.